Every day on this channel, I go through everything Elon said on X in the last 24 hours. And here's how many times Elon posted about each subject today. I'll go over each topic before moving on to the next one, and the timestamps should be in the slider bar now, so enjoy the video. So starting with SpaceX, Elon says that they are aiming for Sunday for the 10th flight of Starship. The Super Heavy booster was moved to the launch pad, and Elon says they are getting ready to launch. Dima says Starbase is the coolest place on Earth, and Elon says not bad for humans. Perhaps the future AI will say. And Andrew McCarthy says he keeps getting comments about how SpaceX is a waste of taxpayer money. He says Starship development is privately funded through Starlink subscriptions. When NASA buys launches to put payloads into space, it's because it was the cheapest option, which saves taxpayer money. Hope this helps. Ricky responds to him saying, "This is what our money is for. It is wired in men to go where no one has ever gone before." Andrew says, "I would be thrilled if my taxpayer money was spent as efficiently as SpaceX spends their money." And Elon says, "Exactly." And he then quotes Andrew and says, "Correct. Starlink does fund SpaceX." And he then replies to himself saying, "Total revenue that SpaceX will receive from NASA this year is $1 billion out of $15 billion total, so 7% of the revenue will be from NASA." Moreover, NASA is paying SpaceX for astronaut and cargo transport to the space station, launching research satellites, and some work for returning to the moon. All of these contracts were won in competitive bids, so the government would either be paying a lot more, or in some cases, such as astronaut transport, have no other means of safely getting the job done. There are zero handouts, zero. And Elon reposted Eva basically saying the same thing. Wister says Starlink users are literally funding the future of space travel, and Elon says yes. Jetafolder says, "Andrew, you're overestimating the intellectual capacity of the people whom you are addressing. Their profound ignorance isn't worth of address. My grandpa told me one time. Some folks aren't even smart enough to comprehend their own ignorance." He was talking about these folks. And Elon had a laugh. And Robin quoted what Elon said, saying that soon SpaceX's revenue may exceed NASA's entire budget. The dotted lines is the projections. Elon replied to this saying, "Next year," suggesting that's when they will exceed NASA's budget. And Space Seduer says, "It's still crazy to me that you can get so close to the world's most powerful rocket, and that too on a public highway." And Elon replied to this saying, "Totally." And Starlink Direct to Cell eliminates dead zones and keeps you connected in the most remote locations. And Based Beth Bezos says success is proportional to your ability to take pain, and Elon says true. Penny2X says people who think they are smarter than Elon crack me up, and Elon replies, "Pretty sure I'm smarter than Elon." And Bill Lee says, "In the end, it was obvious." And Elon says, "Thanks for reminding me about gratitude." I'm not sure what that's about. And I don't know what compelled Elon to quote a post from 2024, Tesla dropping the robotaxi details. Elon said, "It will change the look of the roads." And Tesla owner Silicon Valley says, "The Cybertruck is the best truck I've ever owned. Nothing to prove." And Elon says, "Cybertruck is awesome." And Based Beth Bezos says, "The X timeline is just like playing ranked in video games. The optimal strategy is unfortunately rage engagement baiting bigger accounts." And Elon replied saying, "Advancing in ranked video games requires engaging and beating players with higher elo." Pretty good comparison. And on the topic of video games, this Grok Imagine creation reminds Elon of BioShock. And a study finds 100% of men would immediately leave their desk job if asked to join a space militia and die fighting aliens on a planet 5,000 light years from Earth. Elon would go. And Senator Klobuchar denies, saying Sydney Sweeney has perfect titties. She's taken to the New York Times to slam deepfakes after a video emerged in which she appears to declare that Sweeney has perfect titties. Elon has a laugh at that one. And Anna has AI fatigue. And Elon says, "Tell me about it." Meanwhile, Elon is posting this video saying, "Annie is okay." Alex Finn quotes it and says, "I'm trying to be open-minded, but can anyone explain to me how this is good for humanity?" This user says a long shot is that Elon wants to increase men's desire for women, hence Annie in spicy mode and whatever future plans he'll have. This would inadvertently increase birth rates. Alex says that's not how porn works. And Elon says this is not porn unless you are extremely uptight. And in a standalone post, Elon says AI is obviously going to one-shot the human limbic system. That said, I predict counterintuitively that it will increase the birth rate. Mark my words. Also, we're going to program it that way. Community Notes account responds, if AI is programmed to support families, doesn't that mean it could become the biggest pro-birth tech in history? And Elon replied, yes. Captain Ellie says, if using Grok is going to help humanity, then I'll use it more and more. And Science Girl says, what's a modern trend that people will regret in 10 years? Tyler says, not having kids, and Elon agrees. But Annie's got a new outfit, and Elon says, nice. She got a drifter outfit, a pixie outfit, a rebel outfit, and a sunny outfit. So Spec says, Elon, wake up. You've been one-shotted. Come back. Mars needs you. Wake up. The mandate is being lost. Stop gooning, bro. Wake up. Scam Altman is winning. It's too soon to be a clanker. And he's referring to an AI fashion contest that Elon posted yesterday. Elon says it's all part of a broader vision and strategy, with a laughing emoji. Starship 10 is launching on Sunday. Grok 5 begins training next month. Tesla Autopilot V14 is next month. The long-term strategy is compelling. He's trying to say, relax. Elon just wants to say good morning with Annie in her new outfit. And Time and Mayo says, good morning, Elon. You can feel the excitement on X building. It's going to be a good day. And Elon says yes. And Jordan Taylor is tempted to start block muting people who constantly post about Ukraine war politics, the Gaza thing, people who go on about how China is best at everything or America is best at everything. He wants more engines and spinny things, please. And Elon replies to this, have you heard about Grok Imagine? And he replies again, having a laugh, he's just trolling us. And he reposted this from Doge Designer, it's how to share your interactions with Grok companions. And he says, wait until you see Grok 5. I think it has a shot at being true AGI. Haven't felt that about anything before. Emily is going to start sharing her prompts for Grok 4. Hopefully it will help some people, and Elon reposted this. And this was coded with Grok 4, morphing 3D wireframe geometries with responsive click and tap to pulse animations. And Elon reposted it. And Grok has really changed the AI game. People are coming up with wild use cases that were not being done outside of ChatGPT and Claude. There's a major shift, and here's one example. GTA AI before GTA 6. Elon quoted this saying, Grok is inevitable. And XFreeze tells us that you can just turn on auto updates in the App Store because Grok gets updated every single day, so this is useful to turn on. And this XAI employee, Ethan, had his first month as member of technical staff at XAI. He's even more excited than day one. The team is moving at light speed. Unlimited compute, zero bureaucracy. No goal is too ambitious. They are pushing the limits. And Elon quotes that with a rocket ship. And Tetsuo says, try Sonic Max in Cursor. It's free, faster than Gemini, and writes better code than Opus 4.1. It seems as good as Grok 4. And Elon reposted that. And here's a Grok 4 prompt for optimizing your C code. Elon quoted it saying, try it out and reply below with results. And Grok 4 ranks number 1 in the FutureX Live benchmark for real-world future predictions. GPT-04 comes in second and Gemini in third. Elon says Grok is the best at predicting the future, which is the best measure of intelligence in my opinion. Nick says XAI is one of the hottest consumer companies ever because you get custom Goon companions. And Elon reposted this. So download Grok and delete LinkedIn while you're at it. And Elon says yes. Chad says bots are harder to distinguish on LinkedIn than X, not because they are better. Elon says because the humans behave like bots on CringeDin. And Dan says, does anyone else notice how aesthetically pleasing the timeline has become on X? And Elon reposted it. And back in May of this year, Elon said, I wouldn't even use the Wall Street Journal to line my cage for parrot droppings. And Elon quoted that with some parrot droppings. And Trump says US will not approve solar or wind power projects. Tetsuo says they are not planning to win. The question is why. Emily says there is a problem that most of the supply chain for wind and solar is from China or controlled by the Chinese companies, so every project, you like it or not, benefits the Chinese government or Chinese companies. But the right solution should be investing in building the US capacity in manufacturing and supply chain for solar to be ready for 2028 when the technology is mature enough and the efficiency is at the peak. Tetsuo says should get into solar. It seems like it's the future of energy. And Elon says solar is the only option that scales. Nick says not approving solar power projects is absolutely short-sighted because solar is exponentially more scalable unlike gas. So once data center demand collides with turbine transformer limits, solar wins on scalability. The US is shooting itself in the foot. Adrian says the wind part I understand, but fading solar is crazy work. And Elon said exactly. And meet Hank, the autistic chimpanzee who runs Gavin Newsom's X account. And Elon has a laugh at that one. And Mike Solana says when Big Balls said I don't care what people say online, public opinion is just a wave, That shit altered my entire world. Big Balls was a member of Doge, if you don't remember, and Elon says true. And Steven Pinker says, I have nothing against diversity, equity, and inclusion. But as Voltaire said about the Holy Roman Empire, it was neither holy, nor Roman, nor an empire. That's good. And Jeffrey Mead says, it's almost funny watching Democrats scratch their heads over why they are bleeding voters. Here are a couple of reasons. They sprinted so far left, they left a huge part of the country behind. Their Trump derangement syndrome is so destructive it overshadows actually solving problems for Americans. They care more about fighting Trump than fixing the mess they've created, and they can't even see it, and Elon reposted this. And he also reposted that Scott Jennings is astonished Democrats are still openly opposing President Trump's DC crime crackdown. It's working and they hate it, as robberies are down 46%. And these deers were brought to life with Imagine, and James says that VO3 can do better. Karata says when people realize Grok Imagine is still in its early stages, comparing it to fully developed AI video generators isn't fair yet. Give it time, it's improving every day, and Elon says Grok will be better in every respect with no exceptions. Have you tried Grok Imagine yet? And Elon says, I hear it is fire. I'll now play a slideshow for you guys of all the Imagine creations that Elon reposted today. So that's everything that Elon said today. The Starship launch is now in 3 days. And it was cool to hear him argue for AI improving birth rates today, and also to get that little long-term picture that he gave us. And I posted this video today taking my grandpa for a ride in FSD. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to check it out. It's an awesome video. And if you guys want early access to these videos, or you just want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the channel as a member, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.